This is Abundantly Clear, a Malorie Nicole podcast designed to help you further understand the concept of abundance and put it into practice to build the business and life of your dreams. We'll be breaking barriers of conditioned belief, the standard rules of marketing, and empowering you to achieve real success, allowing you to make a greater impact and live a fulfilled, purpose-driven life with ease. Welcome to the conversation, the stories, the science, and the synergy of living life abundantly clear. Now, on to today's episode.
Welcome back, listeners, to this week's episode of Abundantly Clear. You are a force that has the power to change the world. I'm going to say that one again because you need to hear it. You are a force that has the power to change the world. And it's with resilience that allows you to do that. That is the only difference between a successful person and somebody that isn't. It's resilience. People that are successful, it's not because they've gotten everything right. It's not because they've done a bunch of things that were, smarter or better than the things that the person is doing just starting out. It's that they showed up to learn. They showed up to try. They showed up to give themselves an opportunity to experiment. They showed up to allow themselves to make mistakes. And by making those mistakes, not put meaning that those mistakes became an identity of self. It was more a creative platform for every one of the people that we see out there that's very successful, that we want to be like, that we strive to be like. What is the difference? Well, it really just comes back to that. Resilience is a characteristic that will get you to wherever you want to go in life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you want to have a coaching business, or you want to have a digital agency, or you want to learn how to have a cooking show. It really doesn't matter what you want. It all goes back to that resilience and being able to push past the moments and the times where you don't love what's going on. Maybe you don't love the situation that you're in, but the situation does not give you an identity, because you do have the power to change the world. And because of that, that means you have the power to change everything that's going on around you at any given time, solely by the way that you're perceiving and experiencing it. So I know we've talked about this concept before, but the deeper this concept gets ingrained into your head, the more successful and the happier you will be. It is not so much the circumstances that happen that are the problem. It is how we're experiencing, how we're living through it, the grace that we give ourselves when something hasn't gone 100% like we wanted it to. Maybe we did a launch that wasn't absolutely stellar and amazing. Maybe it didn't go like we wanted. But in order to call in that abundant life that you're looking for, that cannot become your identity. Because as soon as you decide the launch didn't go how I wanted it to, and you create the fear about what's next, you give your power away. You give your power away to an outside circumstance. You are no longer acting from that power. You've given it to something else. You've victimized yourself in your business. You've given it to something outside of you. And then you're no longer seeing what's inside. You're no longer seeing what you're capable of. You're no longer seeing what you're made to bring into this world. And I don't care what it is that you do. This concept of resilience goes with everything in life. Absolutely everything. And as soon as we decide, it is a decision. As soon as we make the decision to not be resilient, that is when we set ourselves up for failure. And I remember when I first started my business, a lot of people were asking me questions because they didn't really understand exactly what this whole coaching thing was. And then I started getting clients online, And that was even more confusing to them. I had friends and family members that would ask questions like, wait, you have a client that you met on Facebook that you've never met in real life, but they're paying you to help them with what? It was incredibly confusing. And I know all of you entrepreneurs out there have experienced moments like that when you're explaining to your friends or family what it is that you're doing in your business. And it kind of seems like there's a disconnect sometimes, because it is a little confusing to explain. Yeah, there's people that know me on Facebook that become my clients, right? I totally get that angle of it. But when I was starting my business and all these conversations, I was having all these conversations about what it was that I was going to put together and do and how I was going to put myself out there, I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of questions about, well, is that really going to work? And is it really possible? And will people really pay you for that kind of thing? And insert, XYZ. Of course, people will pay you to help them with something that they cannot figure out how to help themselves with. You just have to figure out what that thing is. And once you figure out what that thing is, then implement the resilience so that you become absolutely unstoppable, because that power is inside of you. Everything that you need right now is inside of you. And overwhelm and questions and the constant need to know how everything is going to look and work out, all of those are just abundance blockers, all rooted back to the subconscious programming. But when you hone in on the practice of resilience, when you hone in on the practice of being the absolute best version of yourself, that is when you develop and create the business that is the best version of your business. So in order to be the person, in order to have the business that you want to have, in order to have the dream business that you see, maybe you have your business now and there's a version of it that looks better to you. In order to take that step, you become that person today. You become that person that thinks like a 7-figure business owner. You become that person that thinks like a 6-figure business owner if you're trying to get there. You become the person because the person takes the action and has the behavior to create the thing that you're looking for. And that comes with resilience. That comes with people asking you if it's going to work out and you not blinking an eye, because deep in your heart, you know that you have what it takes to make whatever your dreams are come to life. If your dreams are not scaring people, you're probably not dreaming big enough. And with that resilience, with that knowingness inside that the road humps are going to come, but they're just road humps. They're just circumstances. And every single time a road hump comes your way, depending on how you experience that road hump, that's what you're setting yourself up for next. That is the next chapter in your business. How am I experiencing this road hump right here, right now? Because however I'm experiencing this is going to up level or de-level. Is that a word, you guys? The way that I call in the next thing, take the action on the other side of this, the next chapter of my business success is directly related to how I experience the road hump that I'm in now. Because when you experience road humps, if you let them derail you, you're giving your power away. And when you give your power away, that next chapter, you lose possibility in it. Because the possibility is endless. Possibility is absolutely endless. We have at our fingertips access to millions of people on this planet at any time of the day if we want, no matter where we are. You could run a 6-figure business from your phone if you wanted. You wouldn't even need you don't even have to have a computer. If you have something that you feel so certain that you can sell, that can help people, and you know it's going to help people, you could have a 6-figure business tomorrow with the assets that we have. Just the ability to connect as quickly as we can, the social media platforms that we can tune into, it's never been easier. It has never been easier than it is now to create the things that we want to create. And people talk about how entrepreneurship is such a competitive market, or even outside of entrepreneurship, you hear that too. Business is such a competitive market, and everything's competitive, and there's too much of every one thing going on. But so what, right? Don't take that identity with you. Just know that you are going to hone in on the thing that your business does so well. You are going to hone in on it so well. You're going to have the resilience to get over the road humps when they come up. And because you're going to go from that angle on every road hump that you experience, just on the other side, you're going to grow a little bit more, and you're going to have a little bit more success. And from that angle, you're going to deliver something so powerful to your clients, no matter what it is that you do, because you care that much about your business. You care that much about your clients. You have that resilience that the problems don't derail you because you care so deeply. Your heart is in it. And when your heart is in it, when you care about what you do, when it's your passion, when it's your drive, when it's the reason you get out of bed every single day, guess what starts to happen? You start to deliver results to your clients at your highest level possible. And when you do that, clients start talking about what you do. And then what happens? Well, you've created a referral-based business, right? So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter how competitive the market is out there, because if you give to your clients from the highest version of yourself, if you deliver to your clients from the highest version of yourself, and you don't let those road humps get in the way, and you go back to the solutions that you're solving for people, and you hone in on that, and you have that resilience, the competitive market doesn't have anything to do with you. You've then taken yourself out of the competitive market because you've brought all of your power back, and you're creating everything that you want. And none of those factors actually matter. As soon as you start worrying about what somebody else is doing out there, and if you're doing it good enough, and what if their product or service is better than yours, you disconnect from the service that you're giving to your clients. And when you disconnect from the service that you're giving to your clients, you are no longer working from a place of resilience. Because the competitive market out there is looming over your mind, and you're more worried about that than you are giving your clients the best results possible. You have all of the power inside of you to deliver. You have all of the power inside of you to create a successful business. It's just a matter of whether or not you believe in it. Getting to that 6-figure mark, do you believe you can? Getting to that 7-figure mark, do you believe you can? Because when you make that decision, when you make the decision first, that's how it creates the pathway for it. I hope this was valuable to you. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you gathered some inspiration. I will see you next week on Abundantly Clear.
Thanks for listening. As you put these concepts and practices into action, you'll begin to see the benefits of living an abundantly clear life. To connect with Malorie and other high performers, join the Abundantly Clear Entrepreneurs community on Facebook or visit Malorie-Nicole.com.